is where the fun begins.
Hello! Welcome to the Council. We begin tonight's meeting of the Council by calling the Council to order. Hello to everyone and thank you for joining us. The Council is a live Twitch talk show and podcast discussing Star Wars The Old Republic. I'm Elise, and with me are my fellow Council members, Redna.
That's me!
Magic Ace.
Also me, but my customary yo.
And Sechari is here, but not here, but here, but not here. But he's with us in spirit.
God.
So the explanation for that is technical difficulties. He's here, you just can't hear him. So he's like making fun of us behind the scenes, and we're trying to keep a cool face. He's here, he can read what you're saying.
Yes. And it's very weird because I can see his little circle. And so if he makes faces, then I'm going to have laughing problems. Anyway, tonight we're going to be talking about the new upcoming 5.10 details, which includes guild changes, among other things.
5.1, yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think that's what
I really appreciate that you said 5.10, because I'm the anal retentive prick that refuses to say 10. It's like
it's not right. It's 5.10.
It's like my wife has the iPhone X. It's not a 10 either.
I mean, because then they're going to eventually let out 5.11 and 5.12, and just sounds weird to say 5.12. Anyway, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Anyway, Magic Ace. How can people find us?
Well, if you're looking for us, we happen to be here currently, so hi, you found us. Also, you can find us after our live broadcast anywhere our recorded episodes might be found, like our YouTube channel or our website, which is the www.thecouncilsotour.com. You can also find us on facebook.com/thecouncilsotour. But wait, there's more. We're also on Twitter, which is @thecouncilsotour, and patreon.com/thecouncilsotour. And if you have any kind of search engine, if you plug us in there, you will find us. We are
So, tonight we've got an icebreaker. And Sechari does not appear to have typed in his own answer for me to read. Hint, hint. But let's start with Magic Ace. On a scale of 1 to 125, how would you rank the coming guild changes and why?
101 to 125? Okay.
I really like the scale. Finally, some originality.
An extremely precise number makes me like my math now is like a little off. So, honestly, I'm on the fence. So I'm gonna say like smack dab in the middle of that scale. I feel like potentially it could be really great, and potentially like a lot of other changes, it could be really abysmal. Which, yes, is absolutely the case for absolutely every change ever, except for the sell trash button. I see nothing abysmal about that. When that was added in, it was absolutely amazing and a godsend. That being said, I'm truly on the fence. I can't give a legit scale because honestly I have a lot of mixed feelings about different things, so I'm gonna, just for the sake of peacekeeping, I'm gonna say like smack dab in the middle of that scale. That's about it.
So that's like,
yeah, you do the math.
62.5 or something like that. And I will definitely say that I am on a scale of 1 to 125. And maybe at the end of the show, if we remember, I'll give a number because I need to know more before I can give an answer.
So that's is that a pending?
Yeah, it's an, I'm incredibly,
count, maybe?
Yeah, I'm incredibly uninformed. So I don't have information in order to generate a number through my deep analytical expertise. But which I ought to. I don't know how much you guys talked about it on the show last week because I haven't gotten the audio to publish and listen to yet. But for those that want to know, I didn't get to do Extra Life. Well, I quasi did Extra Life for like a couple hours, but I wasn't able to participate with anybody else. And I could only play really slow games like Hearthstone, like anything that needed latency to not be bad. I could tolerate some image breaking up and stuff. Yeah, it was really bad, and I've been having real significant computer programs, some computer difficulties. Fortunately, it looks like it's working tonight, but that's because I don't have anything else running. I can play video games alone. I can't turn on my camera or open a web page at the same time as playing a video game. It's very frustrating, actually. And so then, of course, as a consequence as well, I tried to install and game from our family laptop for this SWOTOR Unite, which also was an epic fail. Basically, I got the splash screen and then the spinny wheel on the mouse that just never went anywhere. So yeah, that's what I've been facing. However, I've actually been playing the game quite a bit this last week without anybody getting to help keep me entertained. And in fact, I've been entertained because, gosh darn it, I'm determined to get through my class story for the warrior with a male dark side so that I can romance Jaisa. Thank you very much.
Oh, there you go. That's
Yeah.
good goal.
So I'm
You're gonna
like
have to
level
play.
65 on Alderaan.
She's an absolute freak, and she's terrifying. It's a good time.
I expect her to be, but just because I do know her personality, having taken a female dark side with her. But I, got to experience that one final story element, right? Mm-hmm. But anyway, back to the question. On a scale of 1 to 125, we know that Sechari, because he's communicating from the beyond, is a 110 for himself, which is quite high. That's only 15 points from top. How do you feel about these upcoming changes, Elise?
I'm at least where Magic Ace is, maybe a little lower. At least one of my really, really big things that I wanted was the guild calendar, and we're not getting it. So
I can respect that a lot, actually.
Asking people to go to an outside source is a challenge. People really like things in game. They want to know things in game. They want to see things in game and not have to go to a third party something.
I don't have time for engine and all that crap. Like, I'm busy. I don't want to do that extra step when I could just have a mail right here.
Right. So
they still have the guild mail? Like, send a mail to the guild? Do they have that? Yeah.
I've got to be honest with you. I don't remember if
that's coming, included. Isn't it? That's one of the updates. Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
I'm getting a thumbs up through the force from Sechari, so okay. I believe that's.
So I couldn't remember if that. So that's a good one.
So that's something, right? At least you can communicate in game. But I agree with you. Like, a common resource that everybody can just check. Like I shared my calendar with my wife so that she knows when I'm going to be out of the house, or she's got a doctor's appointment. I know, and actually it works out really nice now because we got an update in. You didn't get it in game, but I got a calendar update in my car. So I get in, and all I got to do is tap calendar entry, and auto routes me to my location. It's so
pretty
great.
Awesome. I mean, I do that with my phone, but the other one that the other ones are kind of like the ranking in guild. I really do like the thing where if you have a misbehaving person, you can kick their whole legacy. I think that's coming on, right? I feel like that was one of them. Yeah, okay. I read them really fast, so I'm trying to remember everything. So that one's good because trying to hunt down people's stuff in this huge list of whatever of people who have misbehaved really that's a pain in the butt. So that's a good one. But
I hope it doesn't auto kick every single, if you kick a tune because of an activity or something like that, I hope it doesn't auto kick everything of that legacy, because that would really suck.
I think it's going to kick everything of that legacy. At least that
That's
should
the
be
purpose of a legacy ban.
Right. So,
right, but let's say maintenance. A guild's okay, well, we have almost max number of people in here, and these 30 tunes haven't been played in 90 days, so we're going to go ahead and kick those tunes. Well, if you go to kick those tunes, does it kick the active ones as well? Because to me, that's a problem.
It's a separate process that you can't move a character from guild, or you can ban legacy.
Right.
Because the ban feature goes one step further. It's not just that it's removing them either. It's actually preventing other guild members from being able to then re-invite one of those characters into the guild. They are actually banned.
I believe that's the case, yes. So, that's kind of nice. You should be able to, though, choose which one you're using. That would be my expectation. You could do one already, just not the other. But the whole ranking up and but you get rewards or something, right? For ranking up, I think, right?
Yeah,
they have some kind of a progression.
Yeah.
I kind of ambivalent about that. I much preferred ranking people up based on them actually participating, and I don't know. I usually back in the day I could tell when people were participating. No, I'm talking about like
for the guild people. This is for the guild as a whole.
Yeah, but I think there's ranking in the guild too.
Right,
there's some piece that has to do with that, and I'm kind of like, eh.
The piece is just that you can have more different categories of officer, basically. Like
right, which is great. I like that.
Right.
But I thought there was a leveling system in the guild as well that you had access to.
I hadn't heard that.
I feel like that was one of them, or maybe that was one of the
guild leveling. I thought the guild leveling was its own entity that allowed you to compete against other guilds, basically.
Oh,
like
okay.
Your rank versus another guild's rank.
And there are also guild perks that unlock at different guild levels, so that you can.
All right, that piece I get. I thought there were two
PvP
separate
guild.
things. I thought there were two pieces.
I don't think so.
Warframe has this like leveling system where you actually get resources as you level up in a guild, and it's like independent of the guild leaders. Like they set it, but it's set it and forget it, and then the people like level in the guild. Does that make any sense? That's what I thought they were instituting in here, and I was like, that's okay. But no, I like the whole like being able to PvP against another guild. I know other people like that, so
I think this is there's a lot of potential here. I mean, I like that it's in-game tools that you will not have access to, but it's not being forced upon you by in-game objectives or whatever, right? So like if you have two PvP guilds that have fostered some kind of rivalry on your server, or you've been running into each other for years and you got the hate on, you can actually do a guild PvP challenge against one another, and it'll track information. You can do it in a custom instance. It does not at all benefit, it's not an easy mode way for you guys to get your PvP dailies and weeklies done. This is separate entirely, but it will track between the guilds wins and losses, and you can do this also. It's not just ground PvP. You can do it with GSF as well.
That's the only thing that makes the Rishi Stronghold worth it to me, in my opinion. Otherwise, it's just not worth it for single one-on-one stuff, because like it gets boring pretty quickly. You're like, all right, well, that was a good 20 minutes. It's time to move on.
Well, and frankly, all of the other strongholds you can duel in, so 1v1 is still 1v1 wherever you're at, so that is what makes Rishi
I thought the Rishi thing was basically built to foster this the whole guild.
Feel like, and I'm wondering if maybe we got to see this because the Rishi stronghold stuff seems to have at least garnered some sustainable numbers in the system, so they see that it's demonstrated some fostered interest in actually being able to organize amongst yourselves competitive PvP environments.
I'm in a couple of Discords where we do that. We're just like, hey, we're gonna meet so-and-so on their stronghold, and we're gonna PvP. Okay. And like we just go in PvP for like half hour, an hour, and we're like, all right, that's good. And then we move on like it never happened. But we do that a lot.
I really do also like the fact that they drop the price of the guild shifts.
Yes,
it doesn't seem on the forums and on Reddit doesn't seem to be very popular. There's a lot of people. I just bought mine for 50 million. I want my money back. But I really do think that
honestly, that's
letting it be cheaper for people. Especially newbies coming on. It can't be that many people making that many new guilds.
I think that's stupid, wanting a discount or like a rebate, basically, because it's like if you go buy a new car and then 5 days later they drop the price, you don't get to go back to the dealership.
You got off the lot, that thing just lost 10,000.
Right. Like you don't get to go back to the dealership and say, yo, I need that money back because you gypped me. That's not how it works. So no, I don't think they should be crying on the forums. It sucks to be you, but it happened. Move on.
Right. And
I mean, I could see like if they had announced this literally hours after you made your purchase, go ahead and try your best and try to make your case. But realistically, I agree. It's like the early adopters dilemma, right? Oh, I want my 4K TV in 2015, and I want the 72-inch, so I'm going to spend $9,000. Well, now it's 2018, and that TV is worth $2,000. They're not going to refund you $7,000 for it. You got it when it was that price, and you felt it was worth that price to get it then. And now they've reduced the price. What I like about this, honestly, and I mean, it is unfortunate. I do feel the pain of somebody that might have just finally gotten 50 million together and bought a guild ship. But flip side, smaller guilds it makes the guild ship more accessible, and the guild ship is necessary for access to all of these new features. So I really do appreciate that. And yes, I understand that they're still not going to be competitive on a,
Oh, we'll get to that.
right. But still,
a lot of complaining about that.
right? At least you got access.
But let's be honest. What don't they complain about on the forums? I mean,
know,
really.
but I can.
But these ones are extra salty. I will admit they are
Have to
extra
assume,
salty.
of
Yeah,
course, that the ship stuff can't be unlocked cartel coins, right?
Yeah. I honestly don't know. I didn't actually participate in any of the unlocking. It was done before I.
Took over the guild.
Yeah.
Curious. Well, because I know the different. Well, I know the different rooms require you to have different assets that you've gathered, farmed. In order
Yes.
to
Now I've done that for the pub side. I've
But-
helped do those, and we did.
Purchase could be done with cartel coins, because that's the other side too, right? Like, hey, I've got 13,000 cartel coins. I could buy a guild ship.
Well, but they're making it now that you have to have all these different components plus the 8 million. So it's not just 8 million. You have to have other pieces to be able to buy it, and you have to earn those by doing conquest and meeting certain the guild. You know what I mean? Meeting the guild, like, you have to meet your thingies for the guild every week. Whatever. I can't say it anyway.
Well,
Okay.
and I guess we are in deliberation already at this stage, right?
Much.
And so I will go ahead and let you guys know that in the show notes, we've got a ton of links. And I expect that, actually, I'm going to task Sechari to be dropping these into the chat room.
Yeah.
The Dev Tracker post links, we've got some updates from the stream that came in the Dev Tracker. You should also go to the live stream links. There's 2 of them, and they cover different aspects of information. There's guild leveling and guild perks on the PTS. There's guild perks in 5.1. There are conquest changes that will be coming in 5.1, and then there's another thread on guild leveling in 5.1.
And also, there are several content creators who have gone on the PTS and have made videos kind of going over them and whatnot. I know Kidley has one. I don't know if Switcherista does too. She could very well. I haven't had a chance to look yet, but...
Well, and the nice thing is that they're doing all of this content, since it's not like story elements or anything. This is heavily infrastructure oriented. This is open. This is on public test server, not the private one. So
correct.
Yeah, it's great. I love that they have gone right ahead and said, nope, no NDAs. You can, keeping in mind, guys, it's going to be a bug-filled environment because they need to find these things and put them out there. So don't get all upset about that. But please find those bugs and report them so that they can hopefully get addressed. Which, again, with this test server, I've been so happy to see that they really are being dynamically responsive. We know that they're supposed to be releasing 5.1 in the beginning, which I'm going to say, first 2 weeks then of December, which means it's probably going to be somewhere around January 3rd. Just expect that, because they've actually been much more willing with this content to bump it back as things are discovered and they want to get it right. And I approve. That's a double thumbs up. Get it right. Don't rush it out, in my opinion.
Well, also, when you have the community participating in the PTS, then there's more investment and more feeling of ownership of the content as well, which decreases the amount of saltiness on the forum. So it's win-win. Okay, well, shall we chit-chat then? Since we're essentially in the chit-chat place?
Certainly. We've got okay, so first let's cross out the Conquest objective changes really quick. They are changing chapters, the Eternal Championship War Zones, kills, and they have removed the Defeat Guards objective.
Yeah.
Because nobody does it. Apparently from internal data, they've determined that nobody was actually pursuing that Conquest objective, so they just got rid of it. Okay, that's cool.
Did they take out the get rid of the commanders too? Because usually people did both, right? Isn't the defeat guards one where you go to the other faction and kill stuff on your way to getting the commanders, right? So does this include the commanders?
Well, the commanders are still going to be dropping the token pieces that are necessary for unlocking stuff.
Okay.
But there isn't going to be a conquest objective to generate conquest points towards the goal. oriented around killing those officers, right?
Well, there's a reason
So
why people weren't doing them is because people were hogging them. So,
that,
duh.
well, yeah, there's something to be said about that, yeah. Frankly.
Okay. And I did not understand what the heck planet sniping was. I had to get on the forums and read the explanation of what that was.
Yeah, the mega guilds figuring out where all the small ones went and then taking in and docking there and just destroying and getting first place because they knew they wouldn't have any competition and
Yeah.
ruining it for the people that had been there all week.
But couldn't they easily like take care of, I mean, so remind me again, since I'm not like heavily like invested in the whole like dueling out Conquest, is everybody on the same page like with rankings and stuff, or it's just to invade the planet? That's what it is?
Well,
Or?
if you need to get there's an achievement for getting first on every planet in Conquest.
And it's only achievable one time, right?
Getting that achievement is only achievable one time.
One time, right?
Right.
So isn't there come a point in time where like the big girls, big guilds?
No, because
do
the big
that
guilds are
enough?
known for being able to get that, and so they're constantly gaining people coming into the guild for the singular purpose of getting these titles.
See, okay, this makes maybe slightly more sense.
Yeah.
Okay, carry on. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. So I don't know exactly what the changes are. Chapters, Eternal Championship, War Zones.
That's it. So chapters are one. How many is it? How many? I think it's per round of
Have they made
Eternal
have they made
Championship?
each of these easier? Is this the point?
I'm just gonna say, if you normally play a healer,
Hold on.
it is nearly impossible to get that stuff in like the solo hard mode difficulty. Very, very annoying. I had to literally gear up
For the
a
Eternal Championship stuff.
Yeah.
yes.
Somebody was
I
complaining
literally
from a
had
great
to
position,
gear up
too.
a DPS that I never play ever again just so I could complete that. I bought a token. I
Is
made
that the
it. I
Baldar
geared the
arena?
character,
Yes.
and I never
Okay.
ever play it.
You know, actually, the only person that I've actually completed the Eternal Championship on was my operative healer.
Yeah, I don't think too many people actually.
Yeah, but I'm
play
talking
it.
about like the highest difficulty. I completed in the highest difficulty. I couldn't get it on
I
my
know.
sword.
Me too.
I did not get it on the healer. It's very. I didn't even actually try my operative, to be honest.
Let me
I only and that's because it's remember I've only got two that have gone through that story. One on the pub side, one on the inside. So it just happened. But you know, this is something that I think is probably a unique experience.
Oh, here I go. I have the post up.
I've never had healer companions as a part of my leveling experience. So I've actually learned how to use tanks quite a bit and as companions by hotkeying the companion abilities for key moments, particularly movement and everything, so that I can, avoid stupid and everything. Although they've made that a lot easier as companions survive stupid so much better now. But
oh yeah. Okay, here's the specific
But no
post about the
companion?
changes.
No companion can survive better than original Shriek. I'm just saying. Okay, go on, Elise.
Okay, complete any chapter. It's repeatable. Complete any round of the Eternal Championship, which is also repeatable. Complete round 10 of the Eternal Championship, which is only completable daily.
Right.
Defeat enemies anywhere. You must complete step 1 before you can complete step 2, which is basically like Rampage basically now, right? So you 100 enemies, then 125, and then 250 enemies. And that is completable daily. And I thought this was the one that's legacy, keyed to legacy. So, because I thought that's where I saw a lot of the...
which one?
The enemies. Defeating, what is it, 300 enemies?
Kills? Any NPCs?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a one-time daily.
Okay, so to be fair, what you're telling me it's a one-time daily on one character. Oh no, it's a cross legacy. Does it actually track a cross legacy?
That's what I saw a lot of people complaining about. That it's per legacy, and that was one of the grouching about small guilds.
Well, we're not a JRPG, so go find your grind elsewhere. Come on.
Well, I mean, if you've got
wait, that's what she said. Okay, go.
um, okay, this first post wasn't it. Anyway, the other one that was only one time daily was a complete round 10 of the Eternal Championship. So if you grind your way all the way up to 10, you finish 10, then you can't keep doing.
But that was just daily, right?
Yeah, round 10, it says complete round 10 of the Eternal Championship daily. But you can do any round of the Eternal Championship is repeatable.
Right.
It
Okay.
must
So
be
you can only
except
take
10.
it. So basically, it's a daily restriction that you can only take one character on it.
I would assume.
But at least you can still do it daily. It's not
And I
legacy
think that's
week.
also true for the defeat so many. Obtain 8 badges in a war zone. That's repeatable. The following objectives have
Which
been
is good because I get that on multiple characters every day. Anyways.
Right. So that's your one you can spam as the 8 badges on a war zone for multiple characters. They remove defeat Imperial Republic guards. Guards will now earn a small bonus on conquest points earned once they have committed to a planet. The team is trying to balance the bonus percentage between offering incentives to guilds for committing early and not planet sniping, but we also don't want to punish guilds who don't immediately commit. I'm still working with the dev team on locking down the exact bonus. We'll get back to you for next week, or we'll get it for you next week.
I'm curious about this. Like, realistically, okay, we don't want to punish guilds that can't commit. Now, they've already implemented the ability for someone else to commit, right? It doesn't have to be the GM.
Yes, but no, what they're thinking about is, again, if you go back to like a small guild that's like 3 or 4 people, right? And maybe those 3 or 4 people only get to play on the weekends. That was another complaint on the forums, that if you're waiting until the end of the week, then there's something about this 15% bonus that there's like a 15% bonus that you get somewhere in here.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm going to be perfectly frank. If you can only play on weekends, you can still log in and drop a ship and log out. Like, if it's that important, give me a break. If
That's no different from how it is now. It's no different from how it is now. You can have the guildmaster or officers of a specific rank log in, set it to where it needs to go, and then you can log back out, and the other people can do what they're going to do or not. That honestly is no different. That's just something else for them to cry about, in my opinion.
No. The difference is that they're trying to create a percentage bonus that's provided to people that get in and lock in order to prevent those people to wait till Friday with the Mega Guild to snipe.
Right.
So if you log in on Friday with your Mega Guild, you're not going to get that percentage bonus. So you've had all those days with an increased bonus in order to help to protect the leads that you've gotten over that time. And what Elise is saying is that they're trying to find a solution for those guilds that are super small that don't tend to log in until the weekend to commit. I would argue that, quite frankly, if it's that important to you, you should be logging in on Tuesday and, for the 5 minutes it takes to get your ship connected. I'm giving 5 minutes because some people have really long load times. It should take less than that.
I mean, honestly, that's the least of the concerns, frankly, but I think that just kind of feeds into the whole point. The number of points that you have to get to be able to meet some level is going to be a challenge under the way they've made the map.
So
and there's
that's
multiple
the question.
discussions in here about that, and I assume this percentage feeds into there. I don't really understand it because it's not my. I'm just reading what people are posting.
This ties into our next topic, which we can just move right into at this stage, which is the guild leveling and how it works. The guild leveling. There's a guild experience, right? Just like leveling a character. You get experience to get your levels. Well, there's experience to get your levels as a guild. And that guild XP is earned directly via conquest points. So if you're getting that whatever percentage bonus, then you're getting experience towards guild levels faster. And so they don't want the opportunity to level their guild, right? Because they're trying to penalize people that are apt to use their sniping.
Yes. I just want to say that all of this would have been super great when I actually really cared about guilds back in the day. And now that I'm kind of like, whatever, and most of my tunes are ungilded, now I'm like, well, dang, all this stuff is happening. And I'm like, meh. It's a little annoying, but whatever.
That actually was something that multiple people have said that they feel kind of meh. But it had much more to do with it kind of went back to this whole thing with basically the sentiment would be some variation of we're basically being encouraged to grind out content that most of us have played years already, and I'm just kind of like, eh. If you want me to care, then you need to put in more new content, yada yada yada.
Yeah, kind of like the dark
That's
versus
the
light
kind of
event.
yeah, you got the same thing. I enjoyed Dark versus Light, but then again, I I don't want to say I was new enough because I had been playing the game for
No, you were new enough.
quite 3 years maybe. So there was still a bunch of stuff I hadn't seen before.
I was about
but
to say,
now
I bet there was achievements you got from that. Like, there's probably a lot of
There-
achievements for doing that
there
stuff.
was.
There was only like, I think 2 achievements I got out of that I'd already done everything else. So to me, I was like, I only want this because I'm an achievement junkie and I have to have it all. That was it.
I think we did what was that, the World Crusher, whatever that is. Is that, the one on Zios? I don't think I had actually killed that one until we did
Monolith
it.
World Breaker?
Yes. And that was great. So I had actually got to see that. I had never done GSF, so that was nice.
Well, so here's a question for
so
you, because
I
I
got
know
all
that you
those
are the
experiences.
anti-achievement person, right?
Yes.
Like, you could care less. Like, not
Yes.
only could you care less, you could actually, like, if there was incentive, you would actively avoid the achievements.
Yes, unless it was an incentive I wanted, like maybe a deco that was cute. That
Right.
would be different. But yes.
So,
correct.
but to that extent, right? So doing those things, right? Or quite frankly, like, it's something that even I still get a little kick out of. While I've lost a lot of my achievement to seeking tendencies or drive ever since they did that wonkiness with the dark versus light achievement of removing everything that I'd achieved. I've been leveling this new character on the new server, which only had a certain amount of my legacy. It didn't have all of my legacy. I mean, it had the level 50 legacy, but it didn't have all the achievements and everything tied to that legacy. And I still get a little kick. Like, even if I'm not seeking it out, if I'm running around and I'm killing stuff and all of a sudden it says, hey, you just killed 2,000 on this planet. It's like, oh, hey, that's cool. It feels good. I still get that little injection of, I like that, Like, I might not be out hunting it explicitly, but do you still at least, when it pops that thing up on your screen and says you just achieved something, do you at least enjoy that moment?
Okay, you want me to be 100% honest?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I miss half of them. And
Okay.
more often than not, I see them because one of Guilty goes, congratulations.
Oh,
So,
it's the guild chat that actually draws attention to it. Okay.
I mean,
That's fair.
honestly, I am much more motivated by experiences than the achievements attached to those experiences. So again, like I was saying, with Dark versus Light, I'm talking to you about experiences, not achievements or whatever. So I conceptually understood people who were getting mad about not getting their achievements or having them taken back when that all came down. I could logically understand why people were upset, but I was still not trying to be rude, but just from a personal perspective, I was like, I got my leveling gear.
No, there's
So, like,
yeah,
here,
actually, which is
I
an
can
achievement of its
understand, and
own.
I understand why people were upset, and I said I wasn't slamming anybody, but I was just kind of like,
She was thinking it, but she wasn't saying it.
I never do.
I'm just kidding.
And
I'm just kidding.
I totally understand why everybody has, different
Well, that
strokes.
makes sense, actually.
Elise is like the most understanding gamer ever. She understands all the things and all the stuff. She doesn't care about them, but she understands them, and she wants you to have what you want. So when I give her a hard time, it's 100% in good
Yes.
fun. That's it.
I think we all can get along.
Well, this is
So-
this is inherently why I think that Elise is a good person, because she's compassionate. She doesn't let herself be hateful towards others who are empathic. Anyway. So yeah, no, I was just curious about that myself, because and I wonder if that is actually kind of derived from your play style generally as well, because one of the other things I imagine why you don't get so much or maybe find operations generally a little bit more challenging, they message things in the center of your screen a lot, like that you need to respond to, global announcements that go out to the whole group as different events or mechanics occur in a boss fight. And so having been traditionally so heavily invested in that kind of gameplay, I notice every achievement that pops up. because my brain is wired and trained to notice things popping up in the middle of my screen, Whereas you don't play operations, you haven't spent a lot of time there. So I could totally understand in that regard then that it pops up and you don't notice it. Whereas I have trained myself not to notice any chat that goes on. People have to talk to me for 20 minutes in guild before I notice them.
I poke
Whereas
him,
you
like,
are the GM, so of course you're going to notice guild chat right away.
I poke him in all the different ways I have to communicate with him. I'm like, Redna, read your chat. Good grief. And he's like, oh, hey, there's a chat message. I'm like, ugh. Yes,
I mean,
sure.
I see those.
Hey, I pay attention to my stream chat, okay?
Yeah. I'll get him on Twitter, I'll get him in Slack, I'll get him in, Discord, I'll get him in Twitch, and then I'm like, finally, I'm like, look at your game.
It is the worst when I hear my phone go off and I read it and it's like, oh crap. Hey, yeah, she is talking right there.
Yeah. I've done that multiple times.
For me, that's why I always used to have you guys when I would raid, go, hey, can you call it out? Because I would be distracted by the chat, but then stuff would be going on. Like I'd be standing in stupid or something, or somebody's health is going down and like, oh, I'm late, or something. I just do better with people like calling stuff out. Okay, this is going to happen next. Cause it takes me a really long time to catch like mechanics and stuff too. Again, experience over, whatever.
But I respond much faster too. Like I will actually even, the only thing is if the color of something that is on my screen is bright enough, I will respond to that faster than Audible. But the text, you actually have to go into your UI and change how that text is displayed and make it a brighter color for me to notice it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's a red color, but it's this dark red that in most environments actually gets kind of lost in the background. So if somebody says something, it's like, boom, I'm doing it. Even if they don't say it to me, they say something, I'm checking for whatever they're saying because I don't want to be the stupid that isn't responding.
Yeah. Well, and then also we used to have to do it for Mad or Gem Hubby because he's colorblind. So we used to have to call stuff out for him so he wouldn't stand it. And then didn't they put in something? Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought maybe they did something for people who are having color that you could change PvP, that.
They changed colors in PvP and stuff. Now it's no longer just like red and green or whatever the colors are. Now it's like purple and yellow, I think. So they did do some changes, and I don't know if they did anything to Starfighter, but I know that's in like regular PvP.
All right, so I took us way far off.
Back to the guild leveling. I'm ready. So if I understand right, it says there's no max level to guild leveling, which is
but there is a weekly cap.
Right, there's a weekly cap to how much you can level.
Correct, but there is a cap. There is a cap though for rewards. So eventually you can out-level any rewards you could get.
Rewards for leveling, there's a commendation system involved.
Right.
So there's a cap to how many commendations you can get each week. Okay.
No. So your guild member ranks, you can continue to rank them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but eventually they'll stop rewarding you for leveling, getting those certain number of ranks. If I'm remembering this correct.
Oh, right. There's
only so many rewards, and then eventually you're going to end up with nothing, even though you keep earning ranks.
The benefits of leveling. There's a max cap to the highest level of Right. But there's also a limitation to how many commendations you can get each week and how much experience you can get each week. So there's a fixed amount of levels. But if there's no max level cap, then if you don't have a big enough guild to at least hit the weekly cap, you at least numerically are going to be behind, even from an advantage standpoint. There's no.
And there was people doing like number crunching on the forums and basically hashing out that unless you have a certain number of people to be able to take so many through, and not being able to do like the kill so many NPC things being like once a day, or they kept saying per legacy. And so I don't know if that's the same as daily or not, but without being able to take multiple characters through to be able to get those points that people were somebody said it was going to be disadvantageous for small guilds to be able to make it, to hit their
The flip side is if you are... Can you do Conquests as a non-sub?
Yeah, you can do Conquest. there's no like bonus cap on it. It's directly linked to your strongholds and the unlocks there, and that's not related to whether or not you're a sub, because you can have a stronghold and not be a sub.
However, you can't get to the chapters without being a sub, at least at some point.
To the end
Yes,
game
you have
chapter
to
is fine,
sub
but that's
once.
got nothing to do with guild leveling or conquests.
Well, but no, but that's one of
except for
that's
the
one of your
conquest,
conquests, right?
right?
There are
playing
some
chapters
conquest points
or
that you are restricted on if you have not subbed or are not currently subbed at that moment. But that does not mean you cannot participate. It just means you have to grind the other aspects of it.
Right.
Okay.
So you have
Because
to
I was just
stay
thinking,
somewhere
like,
else.
fine, then just stop making alts on one account and make a free-to-play account for every alt you want.
And then also with
and then you're a different legacy every time too.
With PvP, you can only do 5 matches a week, right?
For your legacy.
No, you can do.
If you're not
5.
subbed.
It's 5 per day by yourself. However, the workaround to that.
Guild all
The
day long.
workaround to that is if you're grouped up with someone who's a sub and you've already hit your 5 cap, they can queue for you and you can keep doing it. I know because I did it for
Right.
2 years.
As long as you're
So, yes.
queued with the you're in. So
Right. So, but I mean, those would be 2 challenges theoretically. If you're not in a guild, you're not subbed, then.
And I'm thinking of this from a gimmicky workaround situation, right? Like streamline, maximize, do what you need to do. If you're the type, go for it. Especially nowadays because leveling is legit so easy. I mean, like start to finish, you can get, and because I'm not using any perks or anything on my characters. I'm not using the gear set or any of that stuff. And like I'm on Alderaan. I've been playing the game for 6 hours. I'm level 62. So, you know, if you were so motivated, you could literally make a new account with a new email address over and over and over again and fill a guild and be competitive from that standpoint, right?
We don't have do we have the complete list here of the perks? I thought maybe we can, I think we talked about a lot of the other ones here, the guild ship being 8 million, and you still have to unlock the rooms the same way with the 3 currencies.
Perk slots.
Each
room unlocked gives perk slots in the guild perks.
And
So
there's
that's
the
a big deal.
bonuses. Let me see if I can find it. I had it up, and then I got
Goodness.
squirreled.
Those
I
people
had
that
another
don't have
squirrel
shit
moment, and I looked
already,
away.
This is big. Suck it.
There was the list of.
Wow. That's what
Did you
it said.
see the? Did anybody get up the perks? If anybody beats me to it, let me know. There's a list of the perks that are available that you can choose, and guilds can kind of combine
Sorry,
those.
standing there twiddling his thumbs. He could be helping us find
Yeah,
this.
you could be Sechari.
This was Sechari before the show. I've got it. Whatever you guys need, I'll find it. I'll do this, and this is him now.
Now he's just chilling.
Now he's like, man, being in the chat room's kind of fun. This show's really cool. And it's true. Who needs it now?
Missing the beer, Sechari. Where is that? Okay.
I think he
Keep
has
talking.
both.
I'm gonna look and see because the perks you can pick. You can pick certain ones, and then that can help your guild on maybe what you're doing. So like the buffs, I guess they added that you can include the buffs so that if you haven't done all the class stories, that's an option for you to put on so that somebody in your guild would not, if they haven't done all the class stories, could have access to the buffs. You can include those. That might be good for maybe a social guild or something that raids every once in a while that might have people who don't have 20 or more alts. Maybe they don't want to.
From what I understand, all the percentage bonuses that come out, all of these perks that you get, they're purchases that you need. They only last a week. No,
14 days.
It's for 2
It's
weeks.
14 days.
And they're
Here it
going
is.
to be changing and rotating at different times, right? So you might have a guild-wide experience perk that lasts for 2 weeks. It gives you the whole guild 5% increased experience, right? Or CXP boost or whatever. Also, they did make it clear all perks and bonuses from this program will be in PvP environments only, not PvP.
Yeah, thank God, because that was my very first gut check. Was you've got to be kidding me?
Oh yeah, man.
And then it
the
was-
PvP crowd would be going bonkers
Then I was
too.
like, oh, okay, good.
So, which is something. But
Here they are.
just let me finish just real quick because from a mechanics standpoint and how it's implemented, it's the unlocking or purchasing that perk is open for a 14-week window or 14-day window, right? Because they've designed the system to have legs, right? That they can play with and continue to add and change and adjust things. So there's going to be 2-week windows where different perks are available. If you buy as soon as you buy a perk, it applies instantaneously and lasts for 14 days. But if you buy it on the 13th day, then it will still last 14 days from that purchase. You won't be able to buy it on the 15th day, but you will be able to, get the full value of the 14 days with that perk, which makes an interesting question. Once we start to learn what some of these other perks are in various different weeks, if you wait till the end, buy a bunch of perks, and then the next week get a bunch 2 days later, and then you've got 2 weeks
Yeah,
of like stacking perks and stuff.
Yeah, but that kind of seems shady. But what do I know?
No, but honestly, to me, that's creative fun,
Well, I mean, I'm the one who's like, why have a cap? Let's just let everybody
level, you get different perk slots. I wouldn't mind some things. Honestly, someday in the future, once they figure the system out and how they like it to work or whatever, it would be nice to be able, at some extreme cost, like maybe whatever the comm cap is for a week, you can buy a single perk, but it's a permanent one. And maybe it's a really small amount, like instead of 5% bonus, it's a 0.05% bonus, but it'll last forever. And you could, keep stacking those over time. I don't know. Like, there are good ideas that come from that notion, but I'm actually happy that they're playing conservative right now rather than letting the first mega guild to be able to max out and buy a bunch of perks and have them broken, but they've got them established for all time.
Right.
That would be mega lame.
They said they're going to play around with the perks, but okay, here's what I wish we had at Extra Life. I wish I had this at every single Extra Life I've been at. Summon Guild Bank. Hours, people, distributing prizes for various tunes for Extra Life. Hours. I'm not joking. If we could do that, that would just have been really nice. What's the other one?
Oh my gosh, there's a mass res. You
yes, that's another one. Yes, I was trying to find it.
This is like the heaven sent operations gift.
Yeah.
Like you wiped mass res. Done.
Increase critical chance by 5% in operations and flashpoints. Increase efficiency and critical chance by all professions by 2%. I see both of those being something that raiding guilds decide are important.
Yeah, especially those crafting ones for the nightmare groups. Yeah.
I'm missing some other. Where's the rest of them? There's more than that. Okay, whatever. Oh, you get more harvesting. You get more harvesting. Reinforcement modules. Blah blah blah. Oh, that's crafting.
Kidley mentioned new mount skills. Did we talk about that?
Oh yeah.
So apparently we can add shields, AoE, knockback speed. You can boost abilities while you're mounted. So that, I don't know how I feel about that, but that could be pretty interesting.
You can
do open world
while you're driving. So you can use it while you drive. That sounds like
shield while you drive.
I really, really like that. Granted, I still never run into anybody on the PvP shard. But, oh my gosh, I'm going to ask the guild to get that all the time.
That's the only way I do my dailies.
I mean, to me, though, that really seems like... Because in regular content, I hardly ever use my... Or if I use my mount, I never get attacked. I make sure I don't get attacked. So, I just make sure I drive around so that I don't trigger anything. So that really would be more helpful, I think, in an operation or in PvP. But, all right. Anything else? Anybody want to talk about something else? It's 9:51, so.
Well, we can say that there's no calendar. There are no clickable links in chat. There's no heraldry yet, which was actually the thing I was the most excited about when I first saw this post. And there's no guild ship key improvements.
I would like to say there are people, and we know of at least one, that used to make cash by buying and selling guild ships, and I'm thinking with this that will no longer be the case. So that, but yeah, as I said already, the no calendar is annoying. Somebody else brought up being able to set like a timer in game too. I think that was something that was suggested, but such and such event's going to start, blah blah blah, and being able to have it pop up while you're in game would be really nice.
Oh my gosh, what would be awesome is a guild announcement.
Yeah, that was it. Like, oh, we've got a raid starting in 15 minutes, and it like flashes up for everybody to see while they're in there, and you'd send it to your guild. That would really be nice. That's a no. That's a no-go. So, perhaps later. I think they said they're looking into it for those, and then the heraldry is going to come along later. But yeah. Anyway. Anyone else?
Let me look through the notes here real quick.
Like I said, I'm kind of in the middle on these things, so it's like I have some opinions, but even then, it's kind of like meh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so actually, to further explain, one conquest point is actually 2 guild XP.
Yes.
So it's actually a 2-to-1. Whatever. There's no max level, the visible sign of guild activity and longevity. So they have designed it this way, which we discussed a little bit. The weekly cap, for anybody that's keeping track, is 8 million experience per week. 3 levels per week rate for small yield guilds. Rewards for leveling is commendations. We get the benefits for leveling are perks, increasing tiers with higher levels, which, as you mentioned, there is a max level to that. Not sure what it is. Passive and active perks, new bonuses now based. So the active ones would be like riding around and being able to use abilities. The passive one is like increase CXP or whatever. New bonuses are now available based on guild level. Bonuses come fairly early. Get up to 15% experience, 15% reputation, 10% CXP at max. So it sounds like there's going to be different tiers of these, right? So you can get like 5% CXP, and then when you're at the highest reward level is going to be 10%, and then who knows, they may increase that later once, guilds keep leveling forever. The pace of leveling guilds is limited by cap. There are new bonuses. Yeah, that's most of it. And I don't really see anything here that feeds into my own personal desire. I have computer problems and can't afford to fix them. And apparently BioWare's not willing to help. So I think that we should put together a petition to help get BioWare to help Redna's computer problems. But no. So I think actually I'll be honest. I think at this stage I can honestly say I'm gonna go in under Sechari because I need to be contrary, but I'm also gonna be over Magic Ace and Elise because I need to be contrary. I'm not middle of the road or below it, but I'm not super excited. So I'm gonna say, let's put it around 98.42. I think that's a good number. I'm actually pretty excited about this. A lot of this is really exciting. For me, like leveling stuff, new progress bars, things like that are always good to me. I'm actually really happy that they don't have this capped as a level cap, at least for the time being. I'd like to see how high that goes. Also,
They did say that they capped it.
The weekly.
Oh, yes.
Right. But the fact that you could effectively level indefinitely. I like that. MS. There's one thing missing here that I think would be really cool, which is if they actually tied in legacy level into the guild leveling somehow, right? Because you get a new person in and they don't even have a legacy, and then you get their legacy, and then they're doing their legacy 1 through 50. We haven't seen them revisit that, increase the legacy level or anything. It'd be nice to see some kind of benefit from guild members, or maybe a shared reward system that into the CXP and just benefit to everybody, that like maybe some kind of low grade flat rate for everybody that's at 50, but then something that kind of spikes the guild as a whole for somebody that keeps every time they level, so that they're still helping the guild. They can't contribute that flat benefit, but they can actually inject every week as they level up their legacy level, something like that. I'd like to see them tie some legacy stuff back into it.
If it's legacy related, I'm there.
Yeah, right. I think it would be It would be interesting. And actually, they could even get really creative and like encourage the level 50s that there's some kind of engagement that they have to do in order to uh, enable the people that aren't 50 yet to actually, have that be an activated feature benefit for the guild or something. I don't know. Or maybe even incentivize people that are pre-50, but they have to have somebody that's 50 to do it or something, tie it again. So it doesn't discourage pre-50s uh, or 50s, some kind of balanced process in there somehow. I'm not sure, but I just like the idea of bringing Legacy back.
I kind of really wanted them to be able to tier the large, medium, and small guilds.
Make Legacy great again. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing right now.
MGLA. Megala. It's almost megalomaniacal.
But I think somebody said on the forums that they couldn't do that. But I really think that the big guilds should be competing against each other, and the medium guilds should be competing against each other, and the small guilds should be competing against each other.
I really do too. I think that ties back to the Conquest changes that they made where they had the different tiers. To be perfectly frank, I think that those different tiers should be automatic based off of number of individual Legacy participants, period.
Yeah. But they said something about
participate in the lowest tier if you've got a guild with 500 individual accounts. Right.
I guess they couldn't. Something about somebody made a comment that there's a lot of guilds that have maybe 20 people, but maybe a whole bunch of alts, and so they couldn't do that fairly, and that's why they didn't do it. But I mean, that would solve the whole thing about the whole like planet sniping, because if you're competing against your people in your own bracket
of some sort.
I think you would have to be encouraged to, you'd then have to go for the higher yields because you'd be competing against people in your same group or, a commiserate amount of points. But again, what do I know? I don't do it on a regular basis.
Well, and because the irony is if you actually had some system in place that actually said, okay, 20, 0 to 100 is the small for unique accounts, right? Individual legacies, right? And then it makes all of these legacy restrictions make a lot more sense because, okay, you're competing against other guilds that are 0 to 100. And then, the second tier is 100 to 300. And then the third tier is 300 to 500 unique accounts, right? Then that makes it really interesting because then you can actually have the same rewards at every tier. It's just you're only competing against people of similar size. Mm-hmm.
Maybe someday.
Right. So I'll jump into the announcements. 5.1 is coming in early December, 4th or 11th. What do you think? Because the 4th and the 11th are Tuesdays. So I'm saying the 13th. Just because sometimes they push to Thursday.
Oh, hey,
I'm really truly hoping it's the 11th or later. I'm very selfish, and I really want it to be that because I have something going on before then.
We didn't mention the other salty piece. No character membership count cap increase. I'm just going to say that and move on. All right.
What does that mean? Can you...
There's a limit on how many characters you can have in a guild.
Oh, right. Yeah, you can't go beyond the 500, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's always Sechari saying it. So, 1,000 maybe? Okay, it's already been increased to 1,000. But I know there's actually like a server stability, like behind the scenes major engineering difficulty. The fact that they raised it to 1,000 is actually fairly significant. Get over it.
Okay, so... We said about 5.10.
I wonder if anybody's thankful.
Yeah. Does anybody want to talk about being thankful? I don't know. No? All right. Well, I'm
just kidding. That was a lie.
Oh, I thought you had an issue.
No, I just needed to finish typing my ha. It was very important. Okay, so anyways, we would like to say thank you to everyone who happened to just be here and chit chat with us and lurk. And the haters, oh my gosh, we love you. Thank you so much. You're so wonderful. People on Twitter, people who just us in Reddit, and someone popped into my personal stream today and was talking about the council. So thank you too. You all are appreciated. It's wonderful. We love you. Thank you.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. The council is adjourned. If you'd like to reach us, you can email us at thecouncil@thecouncilswotor.com. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/thecouncilswotor. You can find me on Twitter at @abrown35, Magic Ace at the Magic Ace, Redna at R3DN4. I don't say that very often, so that was an exercise. And you can find Sechari at I am Sechari. Also, don't forget our Patreon page at patreon.com/thecouncilswotor, where Patreons can catch the articles we're talking about behind the scenes and exclusive backstage access to our after show chat. That's it for us this week. Now, young Skywalker, you will die. You just had to put that one in there for me. Thanks, everybody.
I understand.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you be on the council and not be a master?
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
Forgive me, Master.